Hi, I'm Mowry from Equal Exchange, and I'm here today to show you how to make a clever. So the first thing you want to do is we have a number 4 filter here that's got a flat bottom. You want to take this and fold along the seam, like so. And then this bottom seam, you want to fold this up as well. And that will just help the filter to sit inside the clever, like so. There's all sort of different filters on the market, so feel free to try different ones, experiment, buy different brands, and see which one you like best. You just want to take the hot water and just like so, make sure you get all the filter wet. This also helps to preheat the brewer, which is good because it'll help it keep its heat up while it's brewing the coffee. So there, I've got it added. So once you get the water in there, you rinse the filter, just go ahead and dump it down the sink. Okay. So now I've got the clever on there, the filter on there. I'm going to go ahead and tear this out so that it just goes back to 0 on my scale. Then you want to take your coffee that I've pre-ground this coffee. It's pretty much a paper filter grind. Sometimes I go a little bit finer just to help with the drawdown at the end, which we'll get to and I'll explain. So now I've measured out 20 grams of coffee. Here in the lab, for most applications, we use a ratio that's 17 grams of water to 1 gram of coffee. And so you can scale that up as necessary to do a full batch. So I've got the coffee in the clever. I'm going to tear it out again. So I've got everything on my scale, the clever, the filter, the coffee. It's all teared out to 0, ready to go. The first thing you want to do is get your timer ready. And you have your fresh hot water, 195 to 205 degrees is what you're looking for. Depending on your kettle at home, if it's an electric kettle, you want to bring it to a boil and wait about a minute or 2 after the boil to pour. So as soon as I pour this first part and start the bloom, I want to start my timer as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to wet all the grounds. One of the reasons I like the clever is it comes with this not so fancy but ever so functional lid. So the timer's counting up. It's around 30 seconds, 40 seconds. You can tell when the bloom is done because it'll puff up and then it'll start to die down, and you can see just by looking. So we'll take a peek there. A lot of the gassing activity is done. So I'm going to go ahead and pour. So like I said before, we're using a ratio of 17 to 1, so that's 17 parts water to 1 part ground coffee. So 20 grams of coffee and 340 grams of water is what I'm using. And so as I'm pouring, I'm keeping an eye on the scale down here. And there we are, 340. Don't forget about that. Now I've filled the kettle up with a little bit of extra hot water. And why I do that is I keep an extra cup nearby. I fill it up and I have a spoon ready. And I like to preheat that spoon before I use it for the next step. Okay, so we've been steeping for quite a while now. We're coming up on 3 minutes. What I like to do, so we're going to start the drawdown process. What I like to do is right at 3, you take the coffee, you give it a few stirs like this, put the lid back on, and then the great thing about this brew method, you put it on top of your cup and it just starts to drain by itself. So it's a bit of a mix between like a French press and a regular pour over. So you have the steep time that a French press does, but then it filters as it percolates through at the end. So the drawdown here takes about a minute to a minute and a half, depending on the grind size that you used and the coffee that you used. So we will wait here as it drains through the filter. Okay, so it's been draining for about a minute, and so if you come and take a look here, I try to keep this closed because it keeps the heat in, which is very important for brewing. But you can see the drawdown getting a little bit closer to the bottom, and the walls look nice and clean, the walls of the filter here. That's good. That's a sign that the coffee that's in the bottom of the filter is extracting more evenly than if you were to see grinds all up along the side of the filter here. So just a few more seconds and we'll be in coffee heaven. Great. So if you watch this part now, all the coffee is, all the liquid has left the filter and left the grounds. So go ahead and lift that up. This is done. And we have a cup of coffee.